Hello, good people, and welcome to my daily recap. Welcome to Spark and Trade. Welcome to Spark and Trade. Uh, well, today was CPI day, and we had quite the interesting market. It wasn't bad at all to trade today. We had the volatility, let's just say, that we didn't have yesterday, where the price on NQ was only moving about 70 points. Today, it was whipsawing between 80, 90 to 160 points. And I only had the opportunity to take two trades. Well, one trade actually. I only took one trade. So let's get into it. So today was CPI data. We'll go through where that came in at 8:30. So this was your big move that everyone woke up to this morning here on your FAR 5-minute chart. Here it is on your 15-minute chart, and that big white candle, that monster Goliath of a candle, is your 1 hour boner that the market gave us due to the CPI data. Don't really need to get into what the numbers were. All we know is that the market liked it, or the market just reacted in a bullish way to it. This here sent the market into a bullish condition. That to me signified that we should have a bullish day. I don't necessarily think of it as we will never pull back, but it should pretty much trigger a probable bullish, sentiment out there, which could be a really good opportunity for those who A, want to get out of that bullish trade. Whoever swung, they're going to take profit. And B, those big wigs who really needed that kind of pop in order to get out of the market. Now there's liquidity up here, right? Like there's an opportunity to get out of a lot of contracts, a lot of shares, et cetera, et cetera. I don't really get too caught up into that. All I know is that if it's at that zone and X is true, Y should happen. So let's get into it. Straight out the open, there goes your 1 hour chart on the far left. I just need you guys to focus on this crazy price action that happened. But really quickly, let's pull up the macro 1 hour chart so no one's too confused about why all these lines are there. So the basic way to kind of look at my charts whenever you kind of hear me talk about them is wherever the supply lines are, you're going to see these red kind of candles. Red horizontal lines to the right. If I remove these lines, you're only going to see one of them on the 1 hour chart. So let's do that really quickly. Clear drawing set, hit that. This is all that you're going to see on this 1 hour chart right here, right? Which is supply up here, demand down here, but price broke out of that. What happened that brought the price down from that? Let's do that and put those lines back. Shoot real quick to the 15-minute chart. Here's your 15-minute line. Right here at 13,408. That's this really bright red. The dark red is your 1 hour. Same condition to the downside. Dark green is your 1 hour. Light green is your 15-minute at 13,263. I'm going into one chart because it's easier for you guys to see where my mouse is kind of pointing into. So in the morning, now we have those two lines. Well, what is this kind of pinkish reddish one, right? Well, that's your 5-minute line, your 13,390 supply. And then it turns out that 13,319 is your demand, is your 5-minute demand. All right, so now that we understand what these conditions are, we know we have a really, really strong selling market up here and a really, really strong buying market down here. Makes sense. And everybody wants to buy the dip on a potential bullish market, or short the rejection level, or a pullback into any pullback, short a bearish pullback or long a bullish pullback, right? All right, now that we understand that those lines and what I'm thinking about when price actually enters those lines, let's go into the actual chart that I trade. So I trade all 3 time frames. And I keep them up so that I know what play to take and why I'm taking that play. Ideally, I always want a money zone play in a trend that's going up, right? A money zone is this green band. You're going to see me try to take a trade at that green band, whether it be on a 5-minute, 15-minute, or the 1 hour, okay? Straight out the open, I don't like this money zone trade because this is your 5-minute on the far right chart, and the market is in the red horizontal line territory. That's bearish territory. That's short area. That's liquidity. That's supply where it could come down. So this pop, although it's juicy, it looks great. It was short-lived to come right back down into this level where you see a wick. Well, why did we wick? There's a lot of volume that bought that level up. And if you look in the middle, that is your 15-minute level. I would have taken this trade, totally missed the trade. I think I wanted this on ES, by the way. So I missed it on NQ, but I'm like, all right, well, whatever. NQ looks like it's moving way better because that reaction was nice. And then it, boom, bonered up again. And I totally missed that trade. By now, it's about 10 o'clock. We should see a really strong move. We broke above the supply level. Could the market keep going up? It looks strong. It looked like it could keep going. I'm thinking, man, this is crazy. I just missed like 80 points on that move, but didn't quite stress it. Market starts to come back down, and it hits a 5-minute money zone. Should we go long? Should we not? You could take the longs here. I'm just like, nah, my plan was to wait for them to get to that level right here on the 15 minutes. Somehow I botched that, missed it. I'm going to get in down there. As a matter of fact, I'm putting my order down here, and I rested the order right here at this white zone. So the white zone is where I want to get in at, right? It was like 92, right? 92, 13,292. Market dumps from the supply level. Of course, is what I kind of expected, but I need you to come into a level that I'm willing to buy at. And as it comes down, it hits your 1 hour money zone. Look at the far left chart. Around this time, the market moves into the 1 hour money zone, and I'm trying to get in there with a resting order at 92. They hit 97, and pew, another big wick comes out of the money zone, but the 1 hour money zone. I don't chase this thing. It goes all the way back up to their 5-minute supply, and then it starts to come down again. And I'm like, yo, man, this is crazy. That's another nice big move that I missed. First one, I didn't even put the play grid up because I didn't take it. Now it's coming down again, and I'm like, I'm like just mentally like, should I take the short? Should I not? Yada, yada, yada. But the reason why I was thinking long, and I was very long biased, even though I'm not really biased, I'm just, kind of sticking to my plan. It just has to come to me, was because this 1 hour is bullish. This whole day, this 1 hour has been bullish. So I don't want to go against a 1 hour bullish train because you could get derailed even though we're at supply. But supply is doing its thing. It's knocking the market right back down, and you see this bad boy come all the way down here. So guess what they did? They came into my 1 hour demand zone, and I'm like, I told every group I was in, like, yo, guys, I'm thinking about longing this thing down here. So I do it. I friggin' pulled the trigger on this pullback. They tried to go up, kind of hesitated in this 5-minute kind of like range right here. So I take a 73 entry with, I don't know why I had like, oh yeah, so I had a 63 stop. Bro, they took me out. We'll make this yellow. So immediately they take me out of this trade. Sorry. So immediately they take me out of this trade at 63. Now, just to like be clear, a 10 point on NQ probably isn't the best strategy because this thing just whipsaws for reasons that are unknown. But we do have, demand down here. So maybe they go test that demand. 63 gets taken out. Boom, they ended up bouncing as they take me out. I said, oh, no, you don't. So I get in there again, this time a little bit lower, so it wasn't bad. I get in at like 69, and now I'm like, you know what? I do want to risk the same amount of points. Don't break 63. So we'll keep this grid like this, but essentially I should have risked 20 points from that entry. So I should have been willing to go down some more, maybe into your 53 level, which they never really touch, right? Like they never got down there. Anywho, market starts exploding. Pew! We get this boner candle. I make everything I lose back in this loss. and take my first one out around this 1R kind of trade, right? Um, then I hold a runner, and I don't know why I just couldn't hold this thing to get to this target. But immediately, the next candle comes up, and I take the next one out, like right there at like 11. I'm just like, ugh, why couldn't you just hold to freaking 20? You know, like it would have been a better trade, yada yada yada. But I made my money back, and I ended up being green after, you know, like just this entire day of waiting for this trade. So I kind of felt bombed by that. Anywho, this was my only trade, and the market rips. It just keeps going. Blew through the 1 hour, I believe so this is your 5 minute demand, and we blow through that. It was demand turn supply, crack right through that. This is your 1 hour supply. Pause for a second, flag, broke right through that. Now, here's where I took another trade right here on 2 contracts. And this was what made the day kind of better, because and this felt like more of a revenge trade than anything. It wasn't really anything other than, all right, well, we have a triple threat possibility, because at this point it was still red on the 15 minute. But I'm like, we have a triple threat possibility. This bullish momentum is strong. And I'm like, yo, maybe I could take this again. I didn't take this in the real account, though. I took this one in the play account. So this one, I was like, I'm going to hold this until we hit this target. Guess what your boy did? I held this one, however, till we hit that damn target. And as soon as we get up there, I get out. I'm like, man, should I just take all of them out? Guess what your boy did? I told him, yeah, I think I'm going to take all of them out. So I take the next one out as soon as we started cracking down a little bit, like to like right there. All right. And this thing just keeps on going. So the risk reward on this was pretty good, right? Like this was just, I'm going to risk maybe this zone and, you know, kind of see how high we can go, but I'm not going back down there, right? Like, you just no way I'm going back down there. So if we risk that zone and we go for a 2-to-1 kind of trade, we're somewhere around the ballpark, right? That's almost 2-to-1 right there. So that's not a bad trade. It ended up paying really, really good. And I just wish that, you know, I had the fortitude to take that in the real account. But I'm still a work in progress. And I'm just, you know, keeping it as transparent as possible. This trade could have been a monster trade. And essentially it was, right? The idea of how to get in, why to get in, et cetera, was there. It was there. The patience that I had all day not to take this short, which it was, one time I was talking to Gio, shout out to Gio. He's a guy that I trade with, and we basically execute some of the same ideas and conditions together, because he also has like a hold of this code. And I'm talking to him like, yo, look, like you could just take this shorts off of this 1 hour supply and just kind of take this thing down to demand. But I'm waiting for that demand play. Bruh, as I'm saying that, the market says, all right, I'll do that. And then starts to come down literally to my play. I waited for the market to come to my setup. Today, that is what I would like to take away from, you know, my trading experience. Normally, I'm like, okay, well, I can do that here. But today it was, yo, I need you to come to that 1 hour demand. And if you come there, I'll take the longs. I'll put my money up. And the market did that. It tested this area and V-shaped the hell out of there, shooting up for a really nice gain to the upside. So, you know, I think that was my only trade that I took in the real account. Just walking out of there with like $60 after this loss. So broke even a little bit and then started like, you know, like kind of shooting up. I'm like, all right, let me just get up out of here before this thing rejects. But that psychology can't be what you go in with. You got to like let them go to target, or, you know, take that other, you know, risk that you were willing to take, and, you know, probably just call it a day. If you strike out twice at a zone, just chill out. And that's a better approach than to, you know, kind of be afraid of the gains when you're right. We were right about the zone when we took the first trade. We just got stopped out. One thing about my development is that I'm no longer afraid to go in again at the same zone. I will take that trade again if I see that possibility still there. So in other words, if they don't leave that zone too quickly and you see a bounce, all right, let's give it another shot. Let's see what happens. And if they stop you out, again, we have tight stops. So we're losing anywhere between 30 to 80 points on a play, but trying to make that, that's insane. This would have been an insane monster move, and we didn't even really scrape the surface of this. But we definitely got better at how to enter it, and kind of did the market review. And hopefully you guys kind of learn from this and understand why I'm taking some of these trades. So we had money zone entries back here in the beginning of the market. If you just look at where the wicks were, I'll highlight them. This was a 15-minute wick entry, and this was a 1 hour wick entry where the circles are, and those plays both paid out with the potential of 88 points, and this one here with the potential of 80 points. Those are some big points if you're only willing to lose 20, right? So 4x plays, and we had the same condition here, despite what you see on this 5 minute in terms of the colors. Don't get too intimidated by it. That is something that kind of happens on a micro level. Colors will change because the market is kind of zigzagging, and kind of trends, or the battle between trends is happening. And you see that happen one time on a 15 minute, but that 1 hour, if that would have changed, I would have been on a different type of time. But it held. I kept my idea for longs at a key level, let's just say, and that key level was supported by a new 15-minute demand line, which goes into my reversal trade playbook. And that's only one trade. If a 15-minute line comes up and you have take profit dots, you want to take that trade. Generally, I look for a double bottom at that zone, but I'm starting to understand that the market can give you this V shape or a double bottom, or it could consolidate. Whichever one it does, you need to be ready to take that trade. And in this case, I'm taking the trade because we saw this 15-minute demand come in. We knew that was 1 hour demand, and we wanted this reaction. We got the reaction that we wanted. It was just a matter of executing better. So hopefully you can learn a little something from this trade. In terms of how we got in, that was easy. That wasn't too hard. We knew the level. We just wanted to see a reaction from it. So if we see the wicks coming in, we want to take that level, okay? We didn't see a major wick like we saw on the other times, but those are hard as hell to get into. Maybe this engulfing candle is another area to get in, maybe right here, right? Risking nothing but, kind of like, I don't know, your 20 points. It shouldn't go back down, right? But you don't want to take another double bottom play because that's a lot of points on ES. On NQ. So if you got in somewhere right here on this pullback, micro pullback, and you had to stop down there, that's 38 points. It's a lot of points on NQ. It starts to get out of your range. So a 20 point is somewhere around here. That candle doesn't get taken out. So you should make a higher low and go. If you're lucky. If not, then you just stop out and kind of reassess the situation. But it doesn't mean that you kind of give up on the play or the level. It just means that your entries have to continuously get worked on. And I think right now, taking this entry up here is something that I'm not accustomed with. But it has to be something that I implement because we start to see these V-shaped reactions a lot in the market. And to not have a playbook or a plan to get into that. The playbook is the strategy to get in on a 15-minute demand line with the take profit dots. The entry strategy is another kind of execution, which you have to get good at. And then the actual play afterwards is another level of execution that you have to get good at. I will be completely honest. I don't think it's easy to get good at executing if you're sitting in here in front of the chart, watching the chart and watching the market move the way it moves. These are 5-minute candles that are wicking up, down, up. Oh shit, this is when the big drop is going to happen. Why not think that? It literally happened back here where you had no chance to react, and it basically took a lot of your profit here on this down move. And you just have to have the will to either get the hell out, even though you just lost 40, $50, and or say, okay, maybe I'm just going to give it this money zone. They break through that money zone and now they're down here. Now you're literally lost half of what you made. Psychologically, it's going to trigger you to try to stay in the market. All of this price action that you're trying to watch, if you don't take things to target, and you have to have reasonable target, which is pretty good if you have it at a supply, you're going to it's going to go to that target. The market literally ping-ponged between these targets all day, okay? So that's my play for today. We basically took that trade down there at the 1 hour demand. I hope you guys learned something from, just kind of waiting for your plan to kind of play out. And even if it took, this one right here was the first plan. That one took an hour. The next one took 4 hours before, the market really gave me what I wanted, the level that I wanted to react from. So this is Spark from Spark and Trade. I hope you guys are having a great night or a great day. Tomorrow we shall do this again. Peace.